Hey guys, welcome to our What is Coaching call. Thank you for taking the time tonight to learn more about what we do as Beachbody coaches. I am Leanne Miser and I am the founder of the Girl Boss Empire. And I'm going to start off by introducing Angie, who signed as a coach how long ago? Like
It was the end of about 6 months ago,
months
maybe.
ago?
Whenever, beginning of October.
Okay, and she is on our team and she is an absolute rock star. She just started into this and just took off super quickly. So I'm so excited for her to share her story and how coaching has changed her life. So Angie, I'm going to mute myself and you can go ahead and take over.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. I'm Angie Harrison. Like Leanne said, I started, I think it was beginning of October that I started as a coach, but I actually became part of Beachbody just as a participant. It was probably in June last year, 2014. So it was something that I was just looking just to work out, just to get in shape and kind of do my thing. I needed that focus. I needed somebody to like keep me in line. So it happened to work out. So I started with a 21-day fix, and I love the environment. I love the group. I love just having that positive and reinforce my life because I needed to lose weight. I needed to get focused. And it was working. So Beth was my coach, and she kept asking me, hey, I think you'd be good at it. And I was like, oh, do I really want to put the time in? Do I really want to do it? Well, I noticed that after my challenge group, like, I would stick to it, but not really. Then I was kind of in and out of it. And I'm like, you know what? I need to be a coach, because if I'm going to be a coach, then I'll stay for more focused for myself. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, and I'm going to get like this discount. Okay, why not? So I ended up joining as a coach, and I was still kind of like, am I going to work this business? What I want to really do. But I started really loving it. I love everybody. Like, it's just like a positive environment. Everybody's so helpful. I mean, I can go to any one of the coaches just to help myself out. And then now I'm experiencing helping other people who are just like, oh, Angie, you've been so great. And I'm like, really? I'm helping you? Like, that's fantastic. Like, it kind of makes you just like, I don't know, like I'm doing something very good. So now I'm full blown working the business, trying my hardest to just help more people. And it's a really fun, positive experience in my life. I'm a single mom. I have a 2.5-year-old son running around like a crazy person. I work a full-time job during the day. And so it's something I come home at night. He's in bed sleeping right now. And I can sit here in the evenings, and instead of sitting watching TV or eating a bag of potato chips or ordering a pizza, I'm here usually. I'm doing my workouts, and then I'm working my business. And why not, right? So that's why I became a Beachbody coach. It's been amazing. I've met amazing people. I can't wait to see how much more I can do this year. I think it's going to be so much fun. And it's just, I don't know. It's definitely the positive thing I needed in my life. So that's my story.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I love this because as you become acquainted with Beachbody, you'll find and you'll hear that you end up having people on your team that are just like you. And the majority of the people on our team started just like Angie. And I'll share my story because that's kind of how I started. So, kind of back up, September 2006, I lost my mom to ovarian cancer. I was 25 years old. She was 52. She had been fighting ovarian cancer for 6 years, and pretty quickly, just the disease took over. I mean, I literally had to go get all of her stuff from work. And so at that point in time in my life, like I was dating my now husband, but it just, I love him obviously to death, but really just didn't have that like strong will to live, I guess. I mean, I wasn't like suicidal or anything, but just I lost my best friend and kind of was like, whatever God has in store for me is fine. Like I really didn't think I would have kids because I didn't want them to experience that loss. So, but it was in the back of my mind, there's a test to determine ovarian cancer if you carry the gene, and I won't get it. And I said, because, it's not going to really change anything. So kind of fast forward to 2011, January 11th, 2011, I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well for 2 straight days and just feeling really nauseous and sick and whatever, and thought, no, I'm not pregnant, like, no worries. And all of a sudden I take a test just to say, like, rule that out. And it comes back positive like that. And I was like, oh crap, like, what are we going to do? And so my husband was at work. And so, he got home and he said, how are you feeling? Did you call the doctor? I said, oh yeah, I called the doctor. We're expecting. And so all of a sudden, like, my life became, caring for somebody else. Ironically, my due date was the 5-year anniversary of my mom's passing away. And the minute they told us that, my husband knew it's a girl. There's no doubt that this child is from your mother. She is telling you, you got to live your life and live it to the fullest. So September 1st, 2011, my precious angel Faith was born. And I was trying to lose that baby weight and just kind of struggling, and just knew what I needed to do, but lacked the motivation. Went back to work January and was squeezing into my pre-pregnancy clothes. I'm not wearing maternity clothes to work anymore. I have to get into these clothes, and just felt so discouraged. And I remember like the first or second day going to work and being like, oh my God, if these pants don't split today, it will be a miracle. And so my neighbors were trainers or personal trainers. And so I was talking to them the one day and said, I'm ready to hire you guys just to come over and make sure I do my workout. And they said, well, we do these groups all online now, and we're affiliated with Beachbody. And so you do a Beachbody workout. Are you familiar with P90X and Insanity? And I'm like, yeah, I actually have P90X and had done it. And they're like, and we drink the Shakeology. And I'm like, yeah, peace out. Like, I don't do shakes. I eat my food. Like, I really don't even drink alcohol because I like to eat my calories. And so I really just was like, okay, never mind, thanks. And after a few more days, I'm like, clearly I'm not doing this. So I might as well talk to them and hear more about this. So I went down to their house, and Justin, my husband, was like, this is a scam. I cannot believe you are doing this. Why are you even wasting your time? I said, it's February in Ohio and it's snowing. Like, there's nothing else to do. So they made me a shake. I fell in love. I came home with a ton of energy and just felt awesome. And so they gave me a sample pack. My husband and I split a pack the next morning. And so Justin had texted me like 11:30 that next day and said, go ahead and buy that stuff, because he said for the first time ever, he hadn't eaten his entire lunch that I had packed by that time. And he's like, I felt great. I had a lot of energy. And so we bought it. And the first month, and at first I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to afford $130 every single month for this shake. We saved enough in the first month that we could buy 2 bags of Shakeology a month. And so we started doing that. And my neighbors kept saying, you could get a 25% discount if you were a coach. And I was like, yeah, no, like, I'm not coaching material. Look at me. Like, I love my job as an accountant, and no, thank you. And so he kept asking me. I said, no. So, in like May time frame, April, May, I had switched over to doing Chalene Extreme. I had started with Turbo GM, was moving on to Chalene Extreme, fell in love with Chalene Johnson, and started following, for whatever reason, her sister Janelle on Facebook. And so one day I'm walking into work, checking Facebook, walking and looking, and Janelle was giving a shout out to her coach, Meg, who had just retired from her job, making a 6-figure income with Beachbody. And she was like 24 at the time. And like, awesome. So this little 24-year-old's doing this little job on Facebook as a Beachbody coach, and I'm a CPA with my MBA, and I'm not making a 6-figure income. Okay. So started looking into it. Meg has her degree in nutrition and focuses a lot on sugar addiction, and that's my downfall. And so I reached out to Meg, and I started talking with her and said, like, maybe I'll do this. I don't know. And so just kind of started connecting with her. And finally, July 7th, 2012, I said, I want to do the ultimate reset, and I want to get Turbo Fire, and we're drinking 2 bags of Shakeology a month, so I might as well cash in on this 25% discount. So I signed as a coach. And I had my, getting started right call with Meg. And she said, what do you want to do with this business? And I said, I don't want to do anything. Like, I love my job. I don't think I could ever be a stay-at-home mom. And I just want to do, just get the discount. And she said, okay, great. But I played with it a little bit. I started running free challenge groups because like what Angie was saying was if I'm going to coach, I can't not be following the programs. And so I said, this is extra accountability for me and maybe I can help some people along the way. October, it got dark early. My daughter was going to bed early and I thought, well, what else am I going to do? I'm not going to just sit here and watch TV. Like I want to do something. What do I want to do? And so I started working my business a little bit more. Just started growing it. December, I got a ticket to our big corporate event called Summit, and it's in Vegas. And I won that ticket, and I said, "That's awesome, but I'm not going. Like, this is just a fun little gig. I'm not gonna go to Vegas. Like, we haven't gone on a family vacation yet. I'm certainly not gonna take a weekend off to go to Vegas." And so I just kind of put it in the back of my mind and said, like, move on from it. January of 2013, Meg had asked me to be in a group with her to kind of push my business. And I thought, well, this is like cool. Like she invited me to be with a bunch of coaches that I really respected within her team. And I said, like, I'm going to do it. And so all of a sudden we had created these bonds, these amazing friendships. And it's crazy because the majority of the people on our team, I only know through Facebook. I've never met in person. And that was crazy to me. We were all talking like, I went to an event up in Toledo and I was meeting Meg for the first time. Meg had a whole bunch of people spending the night. And her mom was like, Meg, you've never met these people. Like, what in the world are you doing that you don't know these individuals and you're just going to let them stay in your house? But we did know each other. We had bonded through so many situations. And so about April that year, everybody's talking about how they're going to Summit. And I'm still sitting there with this free ticket in my hand going, well, maybe I should go. So I talked with my husband. I was really working my business at that point in time. And so we decided I was going to go. So I booked my flight. I decided to room with Samantha, one of my closest friends who's in Canton, who I had only met through Beachbody. And so I was all booked and set and ready to go. And then May 30th came and I came home from work and my husband said, can you please come over here for a second? And I said, yeah. And he said, sit down. And I said, what? And he said, I just lost my job. And I looked at him and I said, that's okay. We have Beachbody. And I fully believed that. I knew that if I worked extra hard and helped more people, that I could make up what we would be losing on his income. But it was still scary, like, what do? I just booked this whole flight and all this stuff to Vegas in 3 weeks and you just lose your job. And so we decided we were just going to be losing out on the money. It wasn't like it was a refundable ticket or anything. And I had already committed. So we said, I'm going. I sobbed the entire time at Summit because of all the stories of people who were able to retire their spouses from the military, people who had gone from, complete bankruptcy to the point that they were staying on friends' couches to now $1 million a year earners. And I thought, wow, like I don't want to live in a situation anymore where a corporation decides if I have my job or not. My job was pretty stable, but our company was doing not well. And they, it was because of, and I'm sitting there watching all of it. I'm pretty smart. So I knew everything, all the decisions that they were making. I was seeing the financial decisions and thinking, you're running this business into the ground and you can't pay out bonuses and you can't give raises. And I'm working my butt off for you. And so it started to kind of switch in my head, like, I don't want to work for somebody else anymore. I don't want the situation where Justin had just come home and lost his job because there was a change in management and they fired everybody in the department all in one day. Like, what? So I came back and I said, I'm going to do this. But I really wasn't 100% committed until New Year's 2013. New Year's Eve, I'm writing down my resolutions and I wrote it down. I said, I'm going to retire from my job on May 30th, 2014, because that's the 1 year anniversary of Justin losing his job. That's also my mom's birthday. And I know my mom wanted me to do a lot more than drop my daughter off at daycare and go to a job that I'm not being rewarded at or not feeling great at, to then come home. And one of the coaches on our team said it best. Manny is her name. She's under Meg's team. She said, my family was getting the rest of me, not the best of me. And that's how it was. I was coming home stressed out, having to do laundry and cleaning the house and going grocery shopping and all that stuff. And Faith wasn't getting a mom. So I said, I'm going to do this. And I know it's going to take a ton of sacrifice, but I'm going to sacrifice for these next 5 months and I'm going to push. And so that's what I did. And we enrolled Faith in gymnastics so that Justin and her could go do that. And that was some extra time that I could do my business. And I worked, late into the night. I worked on my lunch break. I worked every single time I could. And it was really cool because it was actually Good Friday. I took off of work Good Friday and then the Monday after Easter. And my boss was awful at communicating, terrible. And so he didn't he approved my time off, but he didn't tell me that he needed me there. And so he was calling me at home and I was running errands with Faith and he was mad at me that I wasn't at a computer able to answer his questions. And I thought, this is my day off. I earned my day off. You approved it. You didn't communicate. This is your fault, not mine. So I came back that Tuesday. It was April 22nd because it was Justin's birthday. And I said, I came back to a whole bunch of emails and then a meeting request from him saying, meet me and whatever. We need to discuss stuff. And so he was like, you are not allowed to leave without telling anybody else what you're doing or whatever. And I had texted Justin. I knew what was going to go down. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this job. My date was May 30th, but I want to do it now. And Justin texted back, just do it. And I'm like, just do it like seriously, or just do it, you're mad? What do you mean just do it? He's like, just do it. I fully support you. And I'm walking in there. I'm like, I have my letter of resignation right now. Are you good with this? And he said, yeah, go for it. And so my boss yelled at me and whatever. And he's like, that's all. And I said, actually, one more thing. I'm quitting. May 30th is going to be my last day. So I gave him 6 weeks notice and it was amazing. And my coworkers were so jealous and they still are. And so I did it on May 30th. I walked out of there and I said, I'm never doing this again. And it hasn't been an easy road, but it's been so much more fulfilling. I'm so happy. I'm not stressed anymore. And the things that we've been able to do as a family and the things that we've been able to do for Faith is unbelievable. We've enrolled her in this amazing private school that she'll go from preschool all the way up to 8th grade. And never in a million years, if I was in the corporate world, did I think that I could do that. I would have never known about it. I would have never tried because it's a program right now where she's there 3 days a week for 4 hours a day. What else? How was I going to get her there at 8:30 and pick her up at 11:30, working my full-time job? And so we've just been truly blessed. And like I said, it hasn't always been easy, but it's been so amazing. And it truly has been life-changing. We were talking today that our goal is to become financially independent to the point where our Beachbody paycheck is going completely into investments and we're just living off of the interest of our investments. And that is our plan. Within the next 3 years, I will be $1 million earner. And for a person that's like, I can do this from my home, being able to never miss anything for my daughter, not being stressed out and working whatever hours I want to work, all by helping others. That's the American dream. I don't want to work for somebody else anymore. I want to work for myself. And that's who I work for. So that's kind of my story with Beachbody. I'll tell you kind of a little bit about our business and how you get in. So you get a 25% discount as a coach. You also earn a 25% commission. We get paid commissions weekly every Thursday. And you're basically rewarded for the number of people you help, whether you are growing your team and you're helping your coaches, and so you earn an income that way, or you're helping customers hit their fitness goals. You're paid on commissions for that. There's a monthly fee of $15.95, but you get that 25% discount. So if you're drinking Shakeology monthly, you're saving $16, net effect. We have no minimum sales or anything. So if you're like, hey, I don't sell anything this month, or I don't even need Shakeology this month, that's fine. No worries. It's $16 or $15.95, and that's it. There's no contracts or anything. You don't have to sign anything or pay ridiculous fee to get out of it. You literally print off a piece of paper where you write your name, you say, I don't want to be a coach anymore, and you sign it, you fax it in, and you're not a coach. This is not one of those scams, that people say. People be like, oh, it's network, or it's a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are illegal. And you have to buy in to it. Like, you would pay me to help you. I'm not getting paid anything to help you. You're not paying me individually. How you become a coach? You either pay $39.95 and you're a coach, or you purchase a challenge pack where you get your Shakeology, you get a program, and then your $40 coach fee is waived. And that's the important thing, because we have 3 vital behaviors as Beachbody coaches. We invite, and I say we invite people into our lives, into our network, and we invite people into our challenge groups and help them with their own fitness journeys. And then we invite them to become a coach, to be on our team. We are a product of the product. You should be drinking Shakeology. You should be getting the program. That does not mean you have to be at a perfect weight. I am not, but you have to be continuously improving on your own journey. And maybe you're getting results and maybe you're not. But if you're showing up every single day, I guarantee you're inspiring at least one person to be healthy. And that's what it's all about. And then we do a ton of personal development. It's funny. I posted something on Facebook today about a possible snow day. And you could tell the people that were Beachbody coaches that responded and the people that weren't, because the people that weren't were very negative in their posts and just get over it, blah, 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 blah. And then the ones that were Beachbody coaches were like, hey, why don't you have her do, because today was a big day for Faith at school. Why don't you have her do this and shoot a video of it and post it on YouTube, and then we can all see it and we can respond. And I'm like, that's what Beachbody coaches are about. They're happy, optimistic people who are always looking to better themselves and better people around them and better their situation. They're not stuck in the, in one quote, I forget, I think it's Rick Warren that says it, but if you're not growing, if you're not going uphill, you're going downhill. None of us want to go downhill. And so when you're doing your personal development and always improving on yourself, you're always going uphill. So that is basically, what coaching is. Once you get signed up with the coach, or if you're interested, you would touch base with the coach that invited you onto this call to listen to more. And then we will get you enrolled. We're trying some different things on our team right now to get coaches started off right. This business, different things work for different people. So we're kind of just doing a whole bunch of different things to see what works best. But we'll get you into a group to get your business started off strong and get you committed to your fitness journey as well. So thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. And if you have any questions, let us know. And we'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Thank you.